Good evening and welcome back to our channel. This evening we want to update you on what we've been doing. So far we described last time was the cardboard design. So we've finished that. We're now reasonably happy with what we've got. And so we've taken down most of the measurements. We have an idea in our head of mostly what we're going to do. And so we're going to start dismantling the cardboard.
I will dismantle it because that's easy for me. John is the one that has to put it together.
Hanneke likes taking things to pieces.
I love it.
Especially if she doesn't have to put them back together again. So peeling paint or any destructive thing, she's your lady. And then we're going to start on the electrics and framing of the van so that we can then look at doing the insulation. Excuse the noise in the background as we have traffic and cars going past. The fact is we live in a very quiet neighborhood, so when there is traffic, it's quite loud. For the electrics, the first job I'm going to be doing is putting in flexible conduit. We'll show you what sort of conduit that is. I'm using galvanized conduit, galvanized iron conduit, but it is flexible. The reason I'm putting in conduit is so that the cables are accessible once we've put in all the insulation, and we can still draw them out or more likely add other cables for things we've forgotten.
Most probably.
Yeah.
I think that might be the reason.
We'll also show you, we'll drop in to the video a layout of, well, not a schematic of what we're looking at doing. I'll briefly run through it. So we're starting off with the solar on the roof. We won't be doing that quite yet. That'll come at a much later stage, going into the batteries. From the engine, we'll be drawing off power as well. So we'll be charging the batteries from the engine. We're looking at about 300 amp hours of lithium batteries, which will be situated in the garage. And then from there, we'll be running everything off that. We're not going to be putting gas or propane, butane, CNG, whatever, in the van. The reason for that, a number of reasons for that. First of all, trying to get it past the local authorities because it's a reasonably new technology in this area, and the risk-adverse nature of the area, it would be a challenge to get it passed. So we're not looking at doing that. Everything will run off. All the energy will come from the batteries. Going through it, the kitchen, we will have the electrical side, going through it areas at a time. There's the fridge. There's a water pump, a UV water sterilizer. I think that's the bulk.
Water heater?
Oh yeah, electric water heater. We'll have most probably a 10 litre water heater. We've got the option of 10 or 15, and we would use that for showers as well. The reason I think we're going to go for 10 is that if we want hot water for washing up, to heat up 15 litres is excessive. We would never need that much, so we'd rather go with a smaller water heater.
Shorter shower then.
Well, we could have the heater running while you're taking showers,
Okay.
and it's at a higher temperature. So, but yes, they will be short showers compared to what we used to in our house. So that'll be the electrics in the kitchen. The
lights?
The lights, we will have lounge lights and bedroom lights. We will have, we'll show you around van in the video. We will have reading lights up here. You can't see the cupboards that are above where we're sitting. So there'll be lighting there. There will be lighting, similar lighting in the kitchen above the counter. In the kitchen as well will be an induction cooker. So those are the electrics there. Under the sofa where we're sitting now will be an air heater, a diesel air heater, which obviously also needs power to run. Looking through the back, we will have an inverter in there, so we will have 220 volts. And that the 220 volts will primarily run the water heater and the induction cooker. The fridge, although it is a 220 volt fridge that we will be using, I will be installing an inverter on that. So the fridge will run effectively off 12 volts, and I will rewire the fridge so that the inverter, the thermostat in the fridge actually switches the inverter on and off. So the inverter is not running the whole time. So that's lights. We will also have some outside lights, garage lights. We will have lights in the cab. We have a rear view camera already installed in the van. The size of this van, and it was a cargo van, so it did not have a rear view mirror, which made reversing rather difficult. So we've installed a rear view camera.
Have you decided now about the Greywater? Heating the Greywater?
Potentially having to heat the Greywater. We might be traveling through Europe in below freezing, and so that would be disastrous.
We try to avoid it, but we might be leaving earlier now. So it looks as if we're probably going to need it now. Because that was the first question, was whether the Greywater was going to go under the van or in the van. And initially we said under the van because we potentially would miss the freezing weather of Europe. But things have changed a bit, so it looks as if we're going to have to do that.
Yeah, the Greywater tank will still be under the van, but then obviously need heating pads on it to stop it from freezing. The bulk of the electricity will be lighting, and then obviously 220 volts outlet plugs for our laptops and USB charging ports all over the van. We're planning about 6, I think, of those. As I said, we will drop in a schematic of everything that we're looking at, and if people have any questions about it or comments, I'm always open to discussion on things. There's no ways we know we are not experts in this, although we've done a lot of research.
I think you're the most nervous about this section, aren't you?
Yes, the issue with the electrics is it's a committal, and it's an area which is, to me, is not an absolute science. We don't know how much power we're going to use, how much Hanneke is going to use for cooking, how much we're going to use for showering, and heating the Greywater tank, sort of thing. Those things, although we have accounted for some in the mathematics that we've done around the electrics, we don't know. It's not an absolute science. So I am leaving provision for additional batteries to be added. Looking at the potential plans for the trip, I do anticipate that we are going to be doing a lot of driving, and so the engine then would be providing power to heat or to charge the batteries, even if the solar doesn't.
Yeah, because we're also traveling through winter as well, so I don't know how efficient the solar will be during that time.
Yeah.
Because daylight is shorter and it's darker and gloomier, we believe.
Yes. And it's something which for us here in the United Arab Emirates it's very difficult for us to actually test, because we are guaranteed sunshine 300 days a year, 360 days a year.
From 6 in the morning to 6 at night, so
Yeah.
it's long days as well.
So that's what we're doing from an electrical point of view. As I said, the first thing is actually pulling through conduits, and then I will be most probably using metre to frame the van with. I'm looking for a reasonably, metre is still a softwood, but it's a little bit harder and stronger than the very soft pine that we get here. The very soft pine, I'm just concerned of whether it would stand up to the vibrations when we travel.
We don't have much choice here with wood, because we don't actually have wood in the country itself, natural wood. So everything's imported, and everything here is actually made out of concrete. So wood is not really a very big thing here. So,
wood or or concrete or aluminium is what everything is built with, and steel. Now, steel I'm trying to avoid, first from a rust point of view, and second from a weight point of view. So where I can, I'm using aluminium. Aluminium is very cheap to get hold of here, although the profiles are not always what we look for, the ones we want. So again, we've got to adapt our designs to fit what we can get here.
And you need 240 meters of electrical wire, which I was horrified to hear. I was just envisaging our van just being cocooned in wire alone, but I have been told that it will all fit, because at first I couldn't believe it. I thought John had miscalculated something somewhere, but having spoken to more engineering people, minded people, apparently that's not too bad. So we'll see. I still don't quite believe it, but
Well, I did, when Hanneke first had a fit about it, I actually went back and redesigned all the electrics so that I could minimize cabling that was needed. And that minimization actually changed the figure from 240 meters to 270 meters.
Sorry.
So, yeah, that's where we are now with it.
So I'm going to pull down all the cardboard now. So I'm quite excited about that.
Yeah. If there are any questions, please drop them in the comments below. As I said, we're not experts, and we always appreciate any input or feedback from anybody. If you do like the video, please press the subscribe button below, and the button, press the bell, so that you get notified when we do load new videos. At the moment, we're not loading them on a regular basis. It really depends when we actually get time to work on the van. Both of us are working full-time, and so we don't have a lot of time to actually work on it, and because of that, we don't feel that we can actually commit at the moment to a regular submission of videos, but we will try and keep people up to date of what we're doing as we go along, and each stage of what we're doing.
Yeah.
Hanneke enjoys walking around with her camera and recording things, so it's just a matter of editing it all together.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's all, and thanks, and good night to you.
Thanks. Bye, everybody.